Matthew Stafford's going to play in 2025 with the Rams. USC basketball lands a recruit to change the direction of its program, and ESPN thinks much higher of the Dodgers farm system than other media outlets. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It's January 31st, 2025. By the time you see this clip, I'm going to be on a plane heading home. Hopefully no helicopters nearby, fingers crossed. If you like being in the know about LA sports, by the way, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, we have a look at the scoreboard. Pretty decent night for the Angelenos. Lakers 134, Washington 96. 7 Lakers reached double figures, led by LeBron James with 24 points and 11 assists. Rui Hachimura added 22 points. If you are interested in who started for the injured Anthony Davis, in a surprise, it was Jackson Hayes, 10 points. UCLA 78, 16th ranked Oregon 52. Eric Daly scored 27 points. Sky Clark added 21, and the Bruins continue to recover from a recent swoon. Still 5th place in the Big Ten, though, but they are climbing. We'll see if they get ranked next week. Tampon Bay 3, Kings nothing. No goals in 2 consecutive games for the Kings. I don't want to mince any words. That is trash. Meanwhile, today, the Clippers are at Charlotte at 4. Congratulate James Harden. He made his 11th All-Star team. And let's get to the news. Well, Matthew Stafford will still need to have a sit-down with Sean McVay, but the quarterback said he will be playing next year, according to NFL Network. The reason for the tete-a-tete? Well, the source for NFL Network did not say that Stafford was going to play for the Rams. General Manager Les Snead and McVay have no immediate plan should they need to replace Stafford, who has gotten the Rams to the playoffs in 3 of the 4 years he's been in LA. Look, Stafford's under contract, right? Obviously, this is sounding like a negotiating ploy to tear up the deal once again. Now, if Stafford just decides to split, which I doubt, backup Jimmy Garoppolo is an impending unrestricted free agent. Third stringer Stetson Bennett has yet to play in a regular season game. And by the way, with Bennett, there's that wee little matter of abandoning the team in his rookie year without saying why. Now, Stafford obviously is somebody the Rams would want to keep. He finished last season with 3,762 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But again, I believe, and I think it's an educated guess, Stafford is being coy because he wants to renegotiate, get more guaranteed money up front. Why do I believe that? He did so last year. Now, the Rams do have cap space. It remains to be seen how much. And even with that said, how much they'd be willing to part with in terms of a guaranteed new contract. What USC basketball has lacked in results this year, the Trojans have absolutely made up for in moxie, which makes the following news a potential game changer. 5-star recruit Alaya Arenas, the 10th ranked recruit and the son of a former NBA sharpshooter Gilbert Arenas, has committed to play for USC. Arenas is a 6'6" guard, plays for Chatsworth High. He is the 3rd guard that Eric Musselman has landed in this recruit class. Now, side note, maybe that means he might be considering a 3-guard lineup, but not necessarily. The dude had to rebuild the roster from scratch when he came over from Arkansas at the last minute. More than half of the current roster will have exhausted their eligibility when the Trojan season ends. Now, as for Arenas, that obviously means he's probably going to start immediately. Scouting reports suggest that he's an athletic scorer, still kind of skinny. When Musselman first arrived in SoCal, you might remember that he and his assistant coaches, they rented a house and turned it into half transfer portal nerve center, and half frat house. Now, Musselman did not slow down from there. This is proof positive. He has been gaining a foothold in local high school circles. Because for all the talk that people have had about Lincoln Riley not recruiting enough in Southern California, Musselman realizes that LA is as much of a basketball hotbed as it is a football one. So again, the Trojans have landed a top 10 recruit for the class of 2025. Room in the Dodgers bullpen had to be made somewhere, by the way. Reliever Ryan Brazier has been designated for assignment. Should he clear waivers, he could be assigned to the minor leagues. I'm skeptical that happens. I think somebody's probably picking him up. Now, over the last few weeks, though, we've been wondering about the Dodgers farm system. Is it as legit as it has been in years past? Analysts, the guys who get paid to talk to scouts and draw semi-accurate conclusions, their analysis has been kind of mixed. Now, that doesn't mean that we all get mad and kick Andrew Friedman in the privates until he submits and drafts better. After all, the Dodgers are the defending champs, right? And their roster is so deep, you have to wonder if anybody in this minor league system has a legit shot to crack the lineup. But while some media outlets say that the Dodgers have as few as 4 prospects in the top 100, ESPN came out with their list, it reverses course, and reported that they have 8. It's not entirely a fair list. Roki Sasaki, by the way, is number 1, the top prospect in all of baseball. And yet, hasn't thrown a single pitch in a Dodgers uniform or a uniform for one of the Dodgers minor league affiliates. And by the way, he's probably starting the career in the major leagues. So really, does he really qualify as a prospect? Just saying. Moreover, another of the 8 prospects will not pitch this year, River Ryan. He had Tommy John surgery. Now, tucking that to the side, still leaving 6 prospects. That's impressive. It is. Many on the list we have discussed before because they are on the top 100 of other lists. Like, for example, Dalton Rushing, number 16. Outfielder Josue De Paula, ranked number 20. Shortstop Alex Freeland at number 37. Outfielder Zahir Hope at number 70. Now, 2 prospects that I did not see on other lists include shortstop Emil Morales, who is said to have 25 home run a year potential. Now, that's potential, and it's a far way from where he is now to getting to LA. The dude is only 18. And then comes left-hander Jackson Ferris coming in at number 93. Now, Ferris could be a number 3 starter, but let's go back to my thesis statement about a minute ago. How many of these prospects could be a legit add to the Dodgers? Then you look at Ferris, potential number 3 starter. Look at the Dodgers rotation. Ace after ace after ace after ace. No number 3s allowed, guys. So who in the prospect pool has a legit shot of playing? And not just playing, but playing regularly. Now, a few days ago, we talked about Dalton Rushing. But here's another prospect that has a legit shot, not now, but soon. De Paula. Simply when you consider time. Dude is 20, technically still in single A. Assume for the moment that he reaches double A Tulsa this year. De Paula can't run that well. His defense is suspect, which is why he's been anchored to both first base and the outfield. Which means when he gets to the majors, he's not all of a sudden going to run like Achilles. He's going to be a first baseman or an outfielder. So, fine. If that means De Paula is knocking on the door at, say, 2027, Freddie Freeman will be in the last year of his contract. Teoscar Hernandez, last year of his contract. So, just simply by looking at the calendar, De Paula has a shot at being a Dodger regular. Now, we mentioned a moment ago about the Dodgers pitching. If you want a sketch as to what this rotation is going to bring, it's going to be the split-fingered fastball. Lots of them. It's thrown primarily by Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Sasaki, Shohei Ohtani. Now, they each throw it a little bit differently, but there are two bottom lines to seeing so many split-fingered fastballs. One, splitters have the lowest batting average and slugging percentage allowed last season of any pitch type. A batting average of 201, slugging percentage of 314, respectively. But comes with a caveat. The split-fingered fastball can often lead to a strain on the ulnar collateral ligament. And if it ruptures, Tommy John surgery. So, risk and reward. We mentioned USC basketball a moment ago. Let's talk Trojans football. I make no bones about Lincoln Riley. He's got his blemishes, but I just don't think he should lose his job. At this moment, I think firing him would be a mistake. But when something looks a little piggish, I'm not going to grab the lipstick for it and put lipstick on said pig. CBSSports.com listed the schools that landed the most five-star prospects in the class of 2025. Tied atop the list are Georgia and Texas, 4 each. Now, USC didn't even make the list because they only had one. Quarterback Husan Longstreet is a five-star prospect. But that's where the angst comes in if you are a Trojans fan. Georgia and Texas each flipped one five-star USC prospect. Defensive tackle Justice Terry went to the Longhorns instead. Edge rusher Isaiah Gibson abandoned the USC and went back to Georgia. Now, hindsight is 2020. I get that. But you have to wonder, if you're a USC fan, what would have happened if Chad Bowden had been the general manager last year? Because if he was able to keep both Terry and Gibson, the defensive front, particularly the pass rush, looks entirely different. Moreover, that would give USC 3 five-star prospects, and Georgia and Texas would then have 3 five-star prospects. And if that was the case, then the scribes, they'd be typing with one hand while reaching their peak with the other. Oh my God, the Trojans are finally back. So, as much as we all like to pile on Lincoln Riley, they were this close. It was just a matter of bad timing. There are reports that the 6-time MLS Cup champion Galaxy will land $5 billion should Liga MX superpower Tigres complete a transfer for Dejan Joveljic, which sounds great. If they take it, though, they've already spent it. Uruguayan club Nacional has tweeted that it will have transferred midfielder Lucas Sanabria to LA, and the amount that Nacional will get is, wait for it, $5 million. Now, to be clear, he's not a straight-up replacement for Joveljic. Instead of being a striker, Sanabria is a box-to-box midfielder, which in the short term could, say, fill in for Marco Reus at a minimum, whenever Royce needs to take a break. The Galactic Tribune, which is a blog that covers the Galaxy, suggests that Sanabria's game is not going to be like the injured Ricky Puig, but more like Mark Delgado. He's a guy where, if a defender gets the ball for the Galaxy, that defender is going to quickly look for Sanabria to ignite a counterattack, if that makes sense. Also, MLS Soccer took a stab at what the Galaxy need, which is a bit of a hoot when you consider they sent away 3 starters in the last month. And they may be transferring a 4th if it's Joveljic. But the scribe took a different tack, and I appreciate the thought. Is the biggest offseason question for the Galaxy not how to replace the lost players? Instead, Is it about Royce replacing Puig? That is the elephant with damaged legs in the room. Puig is a unicorn for MLS. The dude is a brilliant creator. He sees the pitch in a way that almost every other soccer player doesn't. Extremely clever, extremely risky, but when it works, oh my gosh, it's just lightning in a bottle. Now, Royce is a German legend. He's a different guy. He plays at a noticeably different speed. After all, he's 35. He doesn't apply the same frenetic pressure that Puig does. What he does is he reads his opponent and strikes with quality. But again, he's 35, and that's damn near ancient history in soccer. So the idea, according to MLS Soccer, is maybe if you use a combo of Royce and Diego Fagundes, have them do just enough to fill in the gap while Puig recovers from knee surgery. Now, as for other moves with the Galaxy, we'll have to see if Sean Davis or Elijah Winder can properly fill in for Delgado or Gaston Brugman. Also, the same scribe was wondering about LAFC's offseason. And that scribe just caught up with the rest of us in the sense that we were talking for weeks about LAFC's midfield, if their rebuild on the fly is going to work. Now, the Black and Gold lost 4 of their top 5 midfielders in terms of minutes played. Although, to be real, Matus Bogusz often lined up at forward. Now, for me, I'm just wondering if the new guys LAFC has acquired will fit. The scribe took it a step further. He asked, was an extreme makeover even necessary? The theory that he's writing is that, okay, LAFC needed it to create cap space before it becomes a real problem, which makes sense. But the scribe then goes, you've just created a lot of change and are asking a lot of new players to adapt to a system that already worked with so many of the players that you already had. Is that much change really necessary? But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about Matthew Stafford if you believe he's staying with the Rams. Or for that matter, are you optimistic that USC basketball is on the cusp of turning things around? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.